Here we go. The top 10. My favorites of the year. Movies that I not just love, movies that I most probably ended up watching several times. Emphasis on several. Yeah, and movies that I could watch several times without getting bored, annoyed, or anything just negative at all. Just movies that I love top to bottom, beginning to end. Any flaws that I might point out are just tiny little gripes, and what otherwise are just super, super fun times. So without a further ado, let's get into this. Let's get this over with so I can get this over with. I think that what I love about the Predator most is what other people hate about it most, and that's the fact that it is self-aware to the point of absurdity. To an absurd amount. Honestly, every other moment somebody says something, or does something, or shows something that effectively reveals just how much of a silly action franchise the Predator series has been, and how a lot of attempts to take itself seriously, it just failed, and for good reason, because it's not a franchise that at this point can really take itself too seriously. And this movie doesn't. This movie doesn't quite devolve into an action comedy, no, but it does bring some relatable and fun comedy into it. A bit of a dark comedy, I guess. But first and foremost, front and center, it is an action movie, and the action in it is a sight to behold, because the one consistent thing about the splotchy up and down series that this has been, that Predator, Alien vs. Predator, we're gonna combine them, I guess, together, has been, is that the Predators look amazing. Oh my goodness, the Predator, the first one, I'm gonna say the first one, and I'm gonna leave it at that. The first one looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The practical effects on him are great. The costume, the big costume of it all is great, and the action with him is even better. I could watch that motherfucker just run, duck and roll, and then beat up a bunch of people just all day long, and it's great. And it's just, and he surprises you as well, because let's just say, for the purpose of not spoiling everything completely, the first Predator of the film is a bit hobbled in a way. Not like hobbled, but like disadvantaged in a way a bit more than he usually is. And so he just goes, whatever, I'm still a badass from another planet, just bitch slaps everything in his way. I love it. It's great. It's great. And even the second Predator that shows up later on, that brings back with it, kind of unfortunately, I guess, but in probably the most manageable and bearable way possible, brings with itself bits from Predators, the third Predator movie in the mainline Predator series. Even that was actually good. I was totally expecting to groan at it, and it kind of did. I kind of rolled my eyes a bit at a couple of things in this film, and as effectively, honestly, these were the things that were kind of brought over from the Predators, which is my least favorite film of the whole thing, with the exception of Requiem, because everyone can agree Requiem is shit. But moving on, coming back, this movie is great. It's visually appealing without being too flashy or overblown. Its plot is straightforward, but again, self-aware to the point of absurdity, because at this point, what else are you going to do with the Predators? What else are you going to do? They tried to do different things with the Predators, and again, mixed results, okay? Decidedly mixed. This focuses down and goes, hey, what does the Predator films, like, what makes a Predator film? Let's take that, deconstruct that, chuck that back in, mulch it up a little, and it turns out that it's a fun mix of action, of old school stuff, of new school stuff, of a bit of comedy. Yes, yes, a bit of comedy, a bit of heart, even just just a little bit, and a whole lot of awesome. Upgrade is the kind of film that quietly walks in, shows you its stuff, and just as quietly walks out. But my goodness, does it deserve all the respect for being brave enough to show you all of its stuff, because it is truly a film that does more for less. Because on the budget that it had, and when you look up the budget that it had, oh wow, it is all the more amazing how much it managed to pull off. Brought to you by Madhouse Studios. It does play out like a dark sci-fi manga. I was kept coming back to Ergo Proxy in my mind, and it's the closest, best kind of comparison I can give it. It really does tap into that weird spectrum of things where it is sort of artsy, I guess, but also kind of cool, but also kind of deep, and also kind of just overall just fun. It makes you think and makes you go, whoa. It, again, quietly walks in, shows you stuff, quietly walks out, but leaves you just there sitting going, what did I just watch? In a good way, It makes you sit down and think, honestly. It's a very thoughtful and thought-provoking movie, while at the same time, just for the most part, being a pretty good beat by beat action flick as well. It takes time with things that need to take time. It blasts through things that should be blasted through. There's not a single wasted moment in it, honestly, because it doesn't have moments to waste. Again, super tight budget. Like, take away the zeros, right? The millions that it needed for it, or it got for it, had for it. It's single digits, right? It's literally a few million. It's crazy, honestly. That's one of the things I came back to, and it's chain of mental events there, because it's like, oh, tiny budget, but oh my god, they managed to pull off that and that and that and that with that tiny budget. My goodness, it's great. It's absolutely great. It truly is worth anybody's time. It's not a long movie either, so definitely check it out. Definitely do not let this be forgotten. It's probably barely known with how little advertising it got across the board, but it's definitely worth looking for, worth finding, worth watching, worth thinking about, and just worth going wow at. Yes, it's at number 8 on purpose. If anybody actually noticed that, I don't know if anybody did, but notice it please now, because that was the purpose of it. Ocean's 8 is at number 8, and ostensibly the film is about 8 women doing what it took 11 men to do, 10 years ago now? God, it's been so long, hasn't it? I'm not sure if that's how long it's actually been. Let me see. Ocean's 13. Yes! Holy shit! It's been 11 years. So, wait. Ocean's 8 I just realized, Ocean's 8 is a film about 8 women doing what it took 11 men to do 11 years ago? That can't be a coincidence. That's genius. That has to be on purpose. Wow. Anyway, but yes, no. Just like the women in the film, Ocean's 8 is a very confident movie that knows what it needs, knows what it wants, and knows how to get it. Or how to, or rather, no, wait, it knows what we need, knows what we want, and knows how to give it to us. Haha. And it's a win-win because the movie gets to be great, and we get a great movie out of it. Everybody was fun. Everybody it was fine, I guess. No, it was everybody was great. I can't say fine because it's a great movie. Everybody's fine. That's a bit, you know. But I'm babbling, whichever. Anyway, fun movie, fun heist, fun gimmicks for the heist. Good little throwbacks to the previous films. A couple of cameos. Oh. A couple of fun, really good cameos. One not so surprising, one extremely surprising. I'm not gonna spoil either of them. Watch the movie, find out. And yeah, honestly, again, it's an Oceans. I'm gonna say Oceans film. You know exactly what you're gonna get. And if you're already a fan of this thing, like I am, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love every bit of it. And if you're not, then I'm sorry, you're missing out, really. But no, not much to say. Oh no, I hit that point. Not much to say. Not much to say because, honestly, I can't do the movie justice. You need to watch it to really feel the greatness because it is again one of those films that are a bit hard to talk about without spoiling literally everything about it because it's such an intricately woven piece of material that you have to pick it apart to really know it, know about it. So go, pick it up, pick it apart, and love every bit of it. I absolutely adore the Hotel Transylvania movie series. Absolutely adore them, every single one of them, including this one, which is hard for me to say is the best of the lot because the quality overall of the whole thing has been so even across the board. Every movie, Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3 are equally as good as each other, and they're equally great. They all have similar themes of the whole human-monster interrelations, of acceptance, of individuality, of family values, and accepting new people into the family, and tradition versus current sort of sensibilities in a way. How much of old stuff to keep, and how much of it to sort of leave behind because time moves on, things develop, and people change, and it's great. In every single one, it's great, and they do add tidbits on top of all that, but overall, it's the same thing delivered through a slightly different lens in a way, and together to make a nice kaleidoscope of just wholesomeness. Really, it's on the whole a really wholesome movie, just like the previous two, and on the whole a really really fun summer vacation film as well. It's a vacation room. They are on vacation, and they do what families do on vacation, and it's fun, and it's funny, and it's cute. So cute. Of course, it does bring in some new elements, some new threats to deal with, I suppose. And yes, that is a bit of a deviation where it does bring in a bit of an outside threat to deal with in the film, because of course things are not as they seem. Shenanigans ensue and all that stuff, but the focus is not really on that though. The focus is again on the family and everything that surrounds a family on vacation, I guess, and then plus the themes that carry on from the previous two films that get developed a bit further here. And on that note, it is just as good as the other two, which are absolutely great and amazing. It is great and amazing in its own right, and it's fun for the whole family. Everybody will enjoy this, honestly, everybody. And not much else to say except watch it, check it out, and peace. So, Teen Titans Go, the TV series, is, how did Raven put it? A series of good to mediocre little episodes that has a swing and miss comedy to it, but despite all that, the series is at its best when it leans into its inherent insanity, if you will, into its own thing and does its own thing, and that's when that shines, truly shines. There are some truly fun episodes that I could rewatch even now and just totally enjoy. The film takes that and just multiplies it to the power of, I don't even know, because they just have jokes with layers that have layers of jokes in them. I mean, for example, Superman is voiced by Nicolas Cage. Now, depending on your awareness of what that entails, the joke has so many layers to it. And I love it. I love it. Teenage Go to the Movies is honestly one of the funniest, if not the funniest films of the year. No, wait, not the funniest. Definitely one of the funniest films of the year. And one, again, I could totally watch and rewatch without getting bored a few times. I've only watched it once so far. Shame. I really want to watch it again because, God, it is hilarious. Every other moment you're hit with this joke that kind of maybe at first makes you go, huh? But then it clicks and you go, oh my God, that's hilarious. That's just freaking hilarious. At times, of course, yes, there's still the toilet humor, there's still the dumb humor, of course. It is what it is, and it knows what it is, and it leans into it hard, and it just revels in the irreverence, because it is one of the most, depending on your predisposition to DC, I'd say it is one of the most irreverent pieces of cinematic fiction, I suppose, in history of cinematic fiction. It is one of the most irreverent films just to grace our screens ever, because it just takes shots at everything. Everything DC, everything pop culture in general, everything Hollywood especially, and it just takes shots at everything, and it just bullseye, and an occasional miss, of course, because there has to be, and it's not a perfect move by any means, but it is an inherently and invariably hilarious movie, even if sometimes it's kind of dumb hilarious. It's like you go, it's so dumb, but it's still funny. But no, it's just overall, 9 times out of 10, if there's a joke, it is funny, it is hilarious, it has layers to it. There's one that's kind of goes in such a weirdly dark direction, but again, it's so kind of, you kind of nod your head and go, yeah, okay, yeah, I get where they're going with it, and yeah, it's hilarious, but oh my God, it's so dark, and you'll know if you watch the movie, if you give it a chance, you'll know it when you see it. And honestly, yes, no matter your thoughts on the TV show, because you don't need to have watched the TV show, you don't need to have watched anything really to watch this movie, except that if you haven't watched anything, you're not going to get the references that it's trying to layer into it, and your enjoyment might actually diminish a little. So watch some DC, then watch this movie and enjoy the irreverence. Just enjoy it. Give it a chance. Honestly, just give it a chance. They say a good sequel is worth waiting for, and I've waited for half of my life for a sequel to the incredible, pun totally intended, Incredibles. And was it worth it? Hell yeah, it was. I mean, if they ever make another one, I don't want to wait another, by this point, mathematics, bear with me, third of my life for it. But this one I'll take. Take all of my life for this one, because it is truly a great and worthy follow-up to the first one. So, Incredibles 2 was definitely worth the wait. Stretch to say that again. Half my life here. Any other movie I would have just called bullshit, but no. Incredibles 2, while making wait, it delivers. It honestly delivers on what it made you wait for. And turns out what it made you wait for was to lift off the exact same point where you ended last time? Huh. Yeah. Feels weird that, because while in real time it's been, 14 to 15 years, in movie time, we are literally there at the very end, spoiler for the first movie, where the Underminer, behold, the Underminer, so good, erupts from the middle of whatever city they're in. New York? I'm not sure. It erupts in the middle of the city and just starts wreaking havoc. And of course, the Incredibles go to stop it. Incredibles and Frozen go to stop it. And of course, shenanigans entail, and of course, the whole debate of supers comes in, and new characters come in to try and swing the debate in certain directions. A new villain comes in that tries to, turns out, swing the debate in certain directions. It's a very debate-heavy film in a way. Weirdly, the main focus of the main glue, I guess, that sticks everything together is pretty much the same one that was last time. The whole question of legality of superheroes, of whether or not they should be allowed to operate the way they operate. Are vigilantes okay? That's been the question last time. That's been the question this time. Except that this time, because of the fact that it made me wait half my freaking life for it, they layer a lot more onto it, and the layers stick together to form a very delicious cinematic cake that I enjoyed thoroughly, despite waiting for half my life for it. I mean, it's kind of hard to put down that, because while I do love the movie, I just honestly, having to wait that long for a sequel is absolutely insane. And what's even more insane is that I can, with a straight face and a smile, actually, no, with a wide grin ear to ear, can say that it was worth it. It was worth it. Honestly, yeah. This movie makes everything, takes the stuff from the first one, makes it better, brings it its own new stuff in that is also better. It's overall so much better. It is 14 years of better, all condensed into a couple of hours, and it's great, and I love it, and I honestly hope they don't make me wait another 14 years for another one. Watching A Quiet Place is akin to watching a man build a house of cards. Imagine in your, mind, cast the image, of a man just standing there, doing nothing in particular, just building a house of cards. But then, every now and then, not even without much noise, the house of cards collapses. It will eventually happen. You know that you can only build for so long before, poof, the whole thing goes down. But you don't know when it's gonna go down. Is it when he just puts down first few cards and then, oh no, unlucky break, boom? Or is it when he builds this elaborate contraption and then one wrongly placed card or a puff of wind out of nowhere, right? Or maybe he bumped the table and the whole thing just goes flying and everywhere. And that's exactly what this movie is. It's just, it builds tension slowly and methodically until a certain point it goes, and you're taken aback. And it's not jump scares either. No, this is genuine creepy scares and genuine creepy aesthetic, genuine creepiness about the whole thing. Because this movie just creeps along as its title, quietly creeps up on you and just doesn't yell, doesn't jump. It simply just, out of nowhere, places its clawy hands on your shoulders and scares the fuck out of you. Seriously. Seriously scary time. Just watch it and watch it and prepare to shit your pants, because it is the scariest movie of this year for me, and it's probably the only horror movie I watched this year too. No, not the only one. There was The Nun, of course, but as a genuinely good horror flick, this is definitely one of the better ones and one of the best ones that I've watched, because it knows how to get under your skin. Imagine that. You get under your skin and then pop out just at the right moment. Oh wow. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, it's great. Not for the faint of heart. Definitely not for the faint of heart. And but for fans of good horror and for fans of just that bit of creepy crawly, it's absolutely perfect. Oh boy. So earlier on this list, and on this part of the list, there was a sequel I waited an abhorrently long time for. And now we're onto a movie that was hyped up for an abhorrently long time. So, was Avengers Infinity War worth the hype? Was Thanos worth the hype? And the answer to both is a definite yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. To encapsulate this whole movie in a short bit is kind of impossible, because there is so much this movie encapsulates. This is 10 years worth of build-up, 10 years worth of characters, 10 years worth of storylines, all crashing together in a single brilliant display of just, I guess, fireworks. This is kind of like, this is fireworks. And like the great, Harbor Bridge fireworks that we wait with bated breaths for 2.5 hours in the middle of the city for. I mean, not middle of the city, but wherever you find the spot to glimpse the greatness of, up close and personal. Oh my goodness. So, yes, all our favorite heroes finally clash together, finally come together to stop the ultimate threat that has been slowly making his way to them. And that main threat is, as it turns out, the best and the most fleshed out villain we've had so far, because everybody is a hero of their own story. Or I think the saying goes. So something along those lines, that everyone is a hero of their own story, and in Thanos' mind, he is a hero of his. Not a willing hero, mind you. Not a smug hero either, not a self-righteous one as such, but more a hero of necessity. He sees his actions as necessary, as something he has to do, and better yet, that he's the only one that can do it. Holy crap! It's Spider-Man! Wow. Yeah, no, because that's the same thing, as there's only one Spider-Man, and yeah, there's only one Thanos. He's the only one that has the vision and has the means to make that vision a reality. My goodness, like, wow. I'm speechless about just how well this turned out, about how well all these supposedly disparate elements from all over the franchise, all over the galaxy, all over the world mesh together, and how much of a great, not just a great spectacle it is, but how much of a great experience it is. And this movie is an experience. This movie is an experience of 10 years. 10 years! Something close to twice that amount of movies, worth of cultivation, worth of methodical, calculated cultivation to bring us to this exact moment, to bring us this exact story, to bring us these exact beats, if you will, to just, yeah. And this is only part one. My goodness, this is only part one. The next part is coming this year, so quickly, one after another, and I just can't wait. I just cannot wait. So, yeah, just absolutely amazing. Wakanda forever. That line, by the way, is not in the movie at all. It's purely trailer fodder. I looked for it. I listened for it. No, never pops up. But yeah, Wakanda forever, because who? Avengers Infinity War might have been the experience, but Black Panther was a goddamn revolution. It sent ripples, not just through the space of Hollywood, but it expanded beyond that and just encompassed the world. There was, I hate these words I'm about to say, but there's Bieber fever, and then there's the Wakanda rage, the Black Panther rage, the Panther Bantha, the Panther. I'm sure I'll come up with something good here, but no, the just the absolute Panther madness, I guess, that just enveloped the world, and in all the positive ways that it did. It's just, oh my goodness. But let's reel it all back in. How is it as a movie? One word: unbelievable. It is unbelievable how this particular vision of the character, of the story that this character would experience, we would experience this character in, of the whole product, of the whole thing, the whole film. It's unbelievable. Everywhere you look in this film, it's just you just absolutely just it's breathtaking, really. You're taken aback about how well this movie accomplishes what it goes to accomplish, how much it accomplishes within its scope, how broad its scope is, the messages that it sort of tries to deliver, the and the themes that it tries to address, and how it delivers and addresses them with such flair, really, with such amazing flair. It's unbelievable. It's a movie that stands on its own pretty well. It matches into the Marvel universe pretty well. It's a movie that is definitely worth a watch, even if only to find out what all the fuss is about, because you will fuss over this movie too. Honestly, you go to watch it, you go, what's all the fuss about, and you will end up being part of the wave, the Panther wave. I did, Bieber fever, go home. Panther wave is here to stay and wash over us over and over for all eternity. Boom. Well, this is to no one's surprise. Yes. So, R.I.P. Fox, truly, because we'll see what will actually become of the studio when they truly get absorbed into the conglomerate that is Disney. But, wow, what a streak. 2016, Deadpool. 2017, Logan. 2018, Deadpool 2. The three R's, I guess. The three R's that have shown the world that R-rated superhero films are not just a fling, they are a goddamn romance. A romance that you will just get invested to for years to come. And wow. So, yeah, Deadpool 2 takes everything that was great about Deadpool, brings it over, and then adds more on top of it. And I mean, more awesome action, more absolute hilarity, shock value, I guess, because some moments are hilarious and shocking. This movie will shock you, and I actually mean that because oh my god, no, let's go beyond that. Yes, it's a absolutely hilarious and absolutely just action-packed film. The movie has, again, it wastes no time to get into what makes Deadpool Deadpool, and just hits the ground running, and it just keeps going, and it just gets better with every moment. It just gets better, so much so that it has probably my favorite follow-up from a joke I have ever seen. It's a small thing, but it follows up a joke from the first film. Now that's commitment. Okay, this romance demands your commitment, and commitment you will give it. Ooh la la, because it's just it. I guess you'll know it when you see it. But let's say it's something that Deadpool says to Blind Al before he's off to the main battle with the main baddie in the first one, right? And it follows up with a absolutely brilliant visual gag here, and I just love it. It's a small moment, but it just completes it for me. It honestly completes it for me. But overall, this is by far and away the best, the funniest film of the year. I love everything about it, and while I do have great love for the first film, it is nowhere near my favorite because it tried its best, and it did for first outing. It delivered what we wanted, but I just had that feeling I wanted more. This is more. This has everything I wanted and more. This is honestly up there with my favorite films of all time, with my favorite sequels of all time. Right up there with Terminator 2 and The Dark Knight and Mad Max Fury Road, and then this one. Pacific Rim, the first one, I think, is up there as well somewhere. Yeah, a couple other good ones. Maybe Back to the Future, 1, 2, or 3, or all three of them. I don't know. Either way, not just one of my favorite movies of the year. One of my favorite movies. Period. Honestly, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. If Deadpool 1 could be a movie, I would go to a point where Deadpool does a thing and just end up watching the entire thing. This is a movie I would go to the beginning and watch the entire thing, because I love it beginning to end. I have nothing to complain about in this movie at all. And there's literally nothing I could see wrong with this film at all. It delivers more than I could ever want. The only thing more is if let's hope that does not get scrapped. That the X-Force movie that will follow this, oh, I am excited. I am beyond excited. And it's all because of this movie, because this film is just it's so amazing. It's gonna make me cry of happiness because of how amazing it is. And yeah, I guess reeling it back in, and before I tailspin into too much gushing about it. I mean, if I gushed about the first movie, this one I could gush about my entire freaking life, my entire fucking goddamn life. I could gush about this movie. I could watch it and rewatch it and show bits to people and just go, it's so amazing, because it is so amazing. It understands the Deadpool character. It revels in Deadpool's character. It revels in his again, kind of irreverence, I guess. No, not kind of. Definite irreverence, and it revels in just being itself. It's glorious. It is absolutely glorious. But I guess I should, because I didn't know where to stick it on this list, because it's technically not an entirely new movie. It's just a recut with some extra bits of this movie. But Once Upon a Deadpool is an interesting, as I see it, proof of concept for PG-13 Deadpool. And its flaws are inherently in the fact that it's trying to cut down an R18 film to PG-13, and a film that is just deeply rooted in R18 to PG-13. If they tried to go maybe M or MA, which I don't know, yeah, M or MA could probably work, but PG-13, not really. Please don't nerf Deadpool. Disney, if you actually do listen to fans, because your track record with Star Wars indicates sometimes selective deafness, but please do not nerf Deadpool. This movie is exactly what we need, and we just need more of it, and it's amazing, and we love it. Don't take it away from us. Give us more. Make that X-Force movie happen, and just stay frosty. Oh, phooey. Finally done. I feel kind of exhausted actually. This really tired me out. I'll make a small admission. I was at certain point not really in the mood for this, but I decided to sort of persevere because I did start it. I couldn't just leave it on my bottom 10, and I had to finish it. And in the end, I did kind of enjoy it, and I enjoyed majority of the movies I ended up talking about. There weren't any outright stinkers this year, thank goodness. Well, there was one that I kind of didn't understand. One that was so rushed, I, might as well not have watched it. One that proved that its long-running series should probably be over by now. One that sort of decided to be depressing for no reason. One that was, oh no wait, the rest are all okay. And then it goes from okay to good to great to absolutely amazing. And it's just, yeah, and overall 2018 has been a great year for cinema, really. It gave us a lot of great films. It gave us an amazing amount of animated features as well. I mean, just to count, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 animated films. And that's what I've watched. It's yeah, animation is really on its way up. In terms of not just numbers but in quality as well. I mean, we have some absolutely amazing animated features this year. And the worst I can say about any animated features this year is that it was okay. Nothing was terrible. There weren't any outright stinkers in that regard either. So yeah, pretty great film year, really. Pretty great cinematic year. And let's hope 2019 is the same, and it looks like there are some shining stars on the horizon. Yeah, so without further ado, because I feel like I've spent enough time on this, spent enough time of whoever's actually watching this, thank you for watching, whoever actually ends up watching this, and even if nobody does, this was really nice to get off my chest, and it was really nice to look back and say, yep, it's been another good year. And all I say is, again, Happy New Year. Let's keep it a happy year, and, goodbye.